Hello, I'm Sophiralou and welcome to my channel.
Hello guys and welcome to this month's Draw With Me video. I am doing something a little bit different as it's really warm here in the UK at the moment, and I wanted to do a piece that was inspired by the warmth. So this one I'm entitling called Summer Breeze, and I thought of this sort of like fantasy elfin girl with a cat on her lap, and she's just chilling, she's got her feet out. Yes, I know the feet are big. I've done that on purpose. They do look slightly out of proportion, but I wanted to do a character with bigger feet. I don't know why. I just think that loads of different character traits are really beautiful, and for some reason just wanted to draw the feet really big, so it was sort of like a design choice on this. So the equipment I've used here is the Deal Around Me Mixed Media Pad, my WH Smith soft colour pencils, and my Winsor & Newton watercolours. I kept this one very simple within its colour scheme. I wanted it just to look really fresh and almost like she's just very relaxing piece, so to speak. So it's almost like you've captured the moment, and she's just surrounded by all this greenery and she's just chilling and, you know, just feeling the sun. And it's kind of inspired by the weather that we've had around here at the moment, and for those who don't know, the UK is having like heat waves at the moment, which is, you know, other countries have warm weather all the time, but we're not very well equipped for it in the UK, so when it does happen it's just ridiculous. So I was kind of inspired to do a very chilled piece, not do too much, just to make it a little bit easier on myself because we don't have aircon. So we've just been dealing with that, and I felt like doing a watercolour piece would be perfect for this one, just to capture the sort of like softness behind it. I'm still getting used to watercolours. I'm not very patient, and because I'm not very patient, it takes me forever to do watercolours because I have to wait for layers to dry, and then you know, watercolours all about building layers, and I don't always have the patience for that. So with this I tried to keep two very simple colour schemes. Like, I knew I wanted her to have darker skin and lighter hair, just because I felt like she should have darker skin on this. I try and keep it so I do as many ethnicities as possible with my drawing, because I try and represent as many ethnicities as possible, but I know I can't always do them justice because my colouring skills aren't par. If it were up to like, if my skills were much better, her skin would be much darker, but then again, because I've done the brickwork down here, I didn't want her brown skin tone to like almost like blend with that part, so she's not as dark as I would have done her. She's much more lighter than I anticipated. But yeah, you've got a little kitty on her lap, and it's almost like a fantasy sort of setup, where she's just really like, it's meant to be in like this make-believe world, so the flowers aren't technically real flowers, they are interpreted and almost like inspired by flowers around here, but nothing that is technically real. If that makes any sense. I don't know, I don't know. With this piece it was just almost like open to interpretation. I wanted her to have it to look like there's a story behind it, and I have a feeling like with this she's had a long day and she's just come home and she just wants to sit down and feel that soft breeze that you feel in summer, that just wakes you up and just makes you feel like you can enjoy the weather a little bit more. Yeah, that was my sort of like inspiration behind it and my sort of story behind it as well. So this is where it comes to part where I noticed that like how my skills with watercolors aren't that good. I'm still learning with them. It's a very, very slow learning curve, because I like to mix mediums usually. I'll go in with markers if I can't go dark enough with watercolours, but I knew with this one I really just wanted to use as many watercolours as as much watercolours as I possibly could, and then build up with crayons to make my line work. Which reminds me, I did use the Kuretake Mangaka Flexible to do my darker brown line work. So yeah, there isn't like much I can explain about this piece, but what I will go into is what I like and what I dislike about the piece. What I like is I tried to stick away from my usual tones as much as possible. I used a little bit of purple in here, but a little bit of pink, but they're usually my go-to tones. I usually go to like for purple and blues and pinks all the time because I love those colour schemes. So I'm trying to step out of my box a little bit with most of what I do, just so I'm not getting the same tones all the time. I mean, I like this piece, I like bits of it, how it came out, but I don't like all of it. I like the greenery in the background, I like how that's been built up, and I like the brickwork at the bottom. I don't like the potted plants. I think I could have done them much better and done them more justice, but yet again, this comes to inexperience with watercolours. And her body proportions are almost okay. I think I made the feet a little bit too big. Oh gosh, there's my moon head, sorry. Yeah, that's my fault, I do apologise. When I tend to, when I'm drawing, I tend to get a little bit intense in my pictures, and I just build in. I didn't realise. With that, I do apologise. Yeah, like, I do like the background, but I think her feet should just be a little bit smaller, and the hand that she has on her knee isn't quite right. Which, if I could redo if I was going to redo the piece, I would totally do that again, and go back and look over that section and redo it entirely. I didn't do a practice piece for this one, and I can really tell that I didn't do a practice piece because I was really struggling for colours and what to do in certain aspects of it. And I think this is where it comes into importance, why you really need to do a practice piece, just so you can make sure that you have worked out what your colours are going to be, how the piece is going to be posed, and this, that and the other. And I think that's just really important. So it is kind of the sort of thing that I prefer to do usually, but I think I was just feeling a little bit lazy and just wanted to go straight in with a piece and just experiment and see what came out. And I'm pretty happy with the experiment. There are mistakes, but you know, you learn from your mistakes and you can utilize them in the future to make your work look much better. So I'm going to come up with a small idea. I usually do these draw with me pieces every month, so it's just like a piece of original work, and I want to start doing them where I kind of like get random word suggestions of you guys. So if you guys think that's kind of cool, I would like a 3-word suggestion. So so I want you to list for me 3 different character traits, and a colour scheme, and I may use that in one of my draw with me videos in the future. I just kind of like this idea of like you guys giving me suggestions and I'll try it out in my draw with me. It's just because with the draw with me I can do whatever I want, like an original character wise, and I just thought it'd make it a little bit more fun for you guys and make it more enjoyable, really, to set myself a little challenge. And I'd like to see what kind of suggestions you guys would come up with. So are you guys enjoying the summer at this moment in time? I'm not. I'm personally not a fan of warm weather. I much prefer it when it's cold over being warm, just because I'm not very comfortable in heat. It just makes me very, very, I how to describe it. It just makes me very uncomfortable. So like when there is a breeze, I'm just like this girl. I'm just like, oh yes, give me that breeze. It's beautiful. Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of getting prepared for Manchester Expo as well. So I've got an awful lot to do at the moment. And if any of you guys are going there, it'd be lovely to see you. I would really enjoy meeting you there if you are. So this section here, you can see I'm going over with a manga car flex spot, and this was just to try and deepen the areas that I couldn't get quite as dark as I want to do with watercolors, and this comes down to practice yet again. As I say to everyone, like, you've got to practice to get better at something, and the only way to practice and learn is if you make mistakes. And I think that's something that's really important as an artist, that you guys should always take into account. Every piece you do isn't going to be perfect, and I completely and utterly, reconcile myself with that, because not everything I do is perfect, not everything I do I'm happy with. And as I said, there's aspects of the pieces that I like, but there will always be something of it that I don't like, and this is just how we progress and we learn. And I think it's important for me to show you where I think I've gone wrong and what I feel I could learn from, by utilising in my videos, showing you what I did and explaining how I did it and how I feel that I could do better. And I hope you guys like that sort of side of things. I just don't want people to think that everything I feel I do is perfect, because I really don't feel that. I really don't like a lot of my work. But yeah, so just gonna give you a few overall looks of the piece, and I'll let me guys know what you're gonna do this summer. Are you gonna do anything interesting? Are you guys thinking of doing any summer art? If you've got any illustrations you want to show me, please let me. I'd love to see your work. If you want to tag me on Instagram, I'm Sophiralou on Instagram. You can find links down below. This original piece will be up on the store if anyone wants it. I'm not saying you'll have to, but I do like the overall feel of this piece, and I'm glad I did it. It made me feel much better for doing it, because it made me clear my head. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, maybe leave a comment and like the video down below if you want to. And as always, stay creative.